Hey everybody, I'm Suzanne Gundersen. Welcome. I'm from Screenwritenow. I help industry creatives and screenwriters to naturally de-stress, get focused into their creative rhythm and flow, build tremendous confidence, and deepen their emotional worldview into wisdom and truth. That way they can hook every audience. So today's video is a part of my Industry Wisdom Bit series where I'm bringing to you professionals in television and film to share with you one golden nugget or wisdom or piece of advice that's maybe helped them in their career and can help you too. So today we're joined by Danny Manus. Thank you so much, Danny, for being here today. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm what I like to call a recovering development executive. I run No Bull Script Consulting. I'm a script consultant and story consultant, so I work with writers and producers and creatives at all levels to, help them bring their projects to fruition and help them make their projects as strong as possible, and whether it's at any stage, whether it's outline or full script or a pitch or rewriting, and I do mentorships and mentor writers throughout the year, and speak and teach and do all those kind of things.
Wonderful.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I followed you for a while and I love it. When you say no bull script, it really is no bull script. You really are super transparent, authentic. I love some of the stuff that you put out there. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
So with all of your, all of your knowledge and experience in reading scripts and helping people with scripts, what's one gem of wisdom or advice that you could share with screenwriters today?
So I thought today that I would talk a little bit about character development, because in working through with writers and and producers, it's always the thing that people either need to do more of or need to connect with more to really connect with a project. And I think it touches on all aspects of what a screenwriter has to do and what they have to know, including about themselves. And so my little tidbit is, why them, why now, why you? And because I think if you can define the answers to all these three things, not only will you have a much stronger story and a much deeper understanding of your story, but you're also going to be able to pitch your story that much stronger, because you will have already answered for yourself all the things, or at least quite a few of the major things that people are going to look for in a great pitch. And so just the breakdown of that is the why them and why now is what I always ask my my writers, my clients, when we're trying to figure out character or going through a script. Is like, why was this protagonist, why was this character the right character to be the lead of that story? What is it about them that connects with your premise, your concept, your hook? Why is their arc the one to be told over the course of this story? And or what is their traits or their flaw or their wound, or whatever you want to call it, that makes it perfectly right for the story you're telling? Why is that personality the right one to follow, or that we're going to enjoy through this story? And the why, and that just comes from really doing the homework. And it's not one of those things where like you got to know what your character's favorite ice cream flavor is. Like, I know what some people do, like those kind of deep dives. It doesn't have to be that deep, but if you know your character's backstory and you know something about them that is affecting them where they are in page one, you're going to know why that's the character to carry that baggage, or be able to get rid of that baggage over the course of the series or film, and why they're the right character to be in that situation that they find themselves in the story.
I think that's brilliant. It's emotional, what's their emotional behavior and what's their emotional motivation behind that
Yeah.
behavior. And dissecting that enough to have a real grasp on it, to know some of the details that support it, not just what their favorite flavor ice cream is, but like really what drives them. So
Yeah.
important. Like you said, it even helps them in their pitch. Because I mean, you want to start to pitch your story, you have to understand who your characters are.
Yeah, absolutely. And one great little exercise tidbit that I always like to do with the why them is defining your character's deal breaker, and or actually a few of them. And this is an exercise I do with a lot of my classes and my mentees, especially when we're stuck, when we get stuck, is what are your main character's three deal breakers, like things they would just never do that go against their moral fiber, whatever. Not fears or phobias, but like deal breakers. Um, and then you have to choose one to break. And it usually comes later on in the story, because when you're trying to develop great arcs and really strong plots and how to make them coincide, it always coincides usually with a dilemma and a choice that a character has to make. And how do you raise the stakes? Everybody wants to raise the stakes. The way to do it is to make it their deal breaker. So if a character has to break something that is just a deal breaker for them in order to achieve their goal, usually around the climax, usually towards the climax of the series or film, it raises the stakes, it raises the emotional stakes, but it also makes them grow as a character. And so it's a great way to bring plot and character arc together, is to find the deal breaker that really adds to the story. And and so that's kind of the why now, the why them. The why now is, why is this story happening now? Why didn't it happen 6 months ago, a year ago, 10 years ago? Why are you setting it now? Why are you telling it now? One's kind of plot based or, world based. Why is it happening within the story now? But also, why are you telling it now? Why is it something that today's audiences right now, are going to connect to? Um,
Those are all
and
amazing questions to ask. I mean, I think everybody who's watching is probably taking feverish notes. If not, stop or rewind and get all that down, because that's so much goodness coming from Danny right now. You know, um, People who are writing stories are really writing for their own emotional depth and wisdom.
yes.
And so, really, the more you can embody that authentically in your story, that's really what's going to grab your audience. So,
Which
um,
is and that exactly connects to the third thing, which is why you. And this isn't about, it's a little about the story, because it's about defining why you're the writer to write that story. What makes you the expert on that story? And it's not about writing what you know, which I know a lot of people say and a lot of people do.
mm,
Um, but it's not about just writing what you know. It's about writing what you've done the work on. It's taking what you know to inspire a story or inspire a character or inspire something to write about. But you don't have to have had experience doing that thing that your character, has done. You just have to make sure that you are the expert on that story, that you feel truly, just enmeshed by that world, and that world better than anybody else, because that's what people look for. They want to know what you're in your pitch, wherever you're going to tell the story, is like, how are you connected to this story? Why are you the right writer for this story? And whatever personal connection you might have or anecdote, and you want to be authentic about that, by the way. You don't want to make something up and just be like, well, one day I was walking down the street, and no, it's got to be real and true to you. um, but you want to make sure that you're the expert in your story, and that comes through in your pitch. And because when you are the expert on your story and you can answer the why you're going to go into your pitches so much more confident, and write so much more confidently, because you know that you're the voice, you're the character, or you're the person that can bring this story or character or thing to life better than anybody else. And I think that's often what gets into writers' heads, is the like, God, why am I the person to do this, or should I even be writing this? And if you know the why and you know the why them, and you know the why now, then all the confidence is you already have that built into your story, built into the reason you're writing it, and that's going to come through. And that's what producers love to hear in a pitch. They want to know what your connection is to to the story. what the connection is from the character to the story, or what the connection is from you to the character, and why you're telling it now, and why it's an important story to be told now. And so if you can do those three things and connect the them to the now to the you, it pays off. And I think, if not story-wise and character-wise, certainly in the confidence that a writer needs to feel, to keep writing that story when you're not sure what's supposed to happen, or keep pitching that story when you're not sure if it's going so well. You're going to have that, stuff behind you, just feeding your pitch and feeding your confidence already.
Oh my gosh, Danny, this is going to help so many writers out there. I can't thank you enough for sharing this. It's why them, why now, why you for character development. Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about how we can find out more about what's going on with you today.
Yeah, I can always, I know the links are in the little box there, but you can always find me at noblescript.net, or on Twitter, causing some trouble, I'm sure. I do these 4-month mentorships, which honestly changed my business, and I absolutely love them. I've been doing them for almost 4 years now, and so the next one, we do them twice a year. And so one in the fall and one in the spring. So you can always find more info about that, on my site. And I only work with about 10 to 12 writers at a time. And it's great. It's like, being in the development process. So you can always find more about that on my site, or on Twitter. I'm always talking about it, or Instagram as well, the same place. So yeah, I'm always looking for writers at every level to help and work with
Oh,
their
that's
story
good to know too.
and their career as well.
Wonderful. Well, Danny, can't thank you enough. You've been fabulous today in sharing so much information. And definitely, everybody who's watching, feel free to pop on over to my website, Screenwritenow, and download your free ebook copy of 3 Steps to Get Pitch Ready. That way you can get into alignment with yourself and hook your audience. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Danny, for sharing. And we'll
Thank
see you
you.
in the next Industry Wisdom Bits video.